Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today I'm going to show you the project that I made for my Casually Crafting challenge. And this month it was a colour challenge. And our colours were Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent and Gold. So I am using the Evening Evergreen card and the Designer Series paper from the Texture Chic 12 by 12 speciality papers, and these have some beautiful papers in, and it's like an all season one. So some of the paper will have snowflakes, some have leaves, some have seashells and spots, but the gold part is what makes it the speciality, because it's a gold foiling that's on there. And this is actually the piece of paper I'm choosing because it's got Evening Evergreen and the gold, and this is almost like the darker soft succulent in between. And what I've decided to make is a set of note cards. Let's pop that out of the way. I'm using the basic note cards, and these are in the annual catalogue, but they're really, really easy to miss. They're such good value. Let me show you. Let me just see. Pretty sure it's in the about 140, so just bear with me a second. Is it this one? Yeah. So it's on page 137, and it's these ones here, note cards and envelopes. You get 20 note cards and 20 envelopes for just $9.75 here in Canada. So you can get them in vanilla or you can get them in basic white, and I use them a lot for little gifts. And let me pop that out of the way as well. Another thing I'm using are the 6x8 cellophane bags. You've seen me use the clear envelopes lots for shaker cards and things, but I'm using the bags today. And I've got a couple of the cards already made. These are the little cards that I'm making, and just got a little stamped image inside as well. I've made 3 already, so I'm going to make the 4th one right now, and then I'll show you how to combine them and put them into a little bag. And I'm using this Framed Florets set. This is available right now. It came as a complete suite, but now the little gold adhesive embellishments have sold out. So at the moment you can get the stamps, the dies, the Christmas stamps and the paper, but I think that paper won't last much longer. And the nice thing about this is it's also in the January to April mini catalogue, which goes live on, I think it's the 4th of January. So it's going to be a set that's around for a little while. And I used this image. You could use any, the single flowers, the little garland here, any of the images you wanted. If you didn't have this set, you could also use flowers from another set, just like these little flowers to stamp or part of this stamp, and any sentiment set that you have as well. I just liked being able to use sort of the sentiment and the stamp from the same set, and I only had to get one set out. Okay, so let's get everything ready. I've got my basic white note card and my envelope, and all I've done is folded this in half, and I'm just going to score it. It is scored, I'm just going to burnish it just so that it lays flat. Okay, I'll put my envelope on one side as well. And I've written down the things you need, but if you pop over to my blog, the link will be in this video. If you pop on over, I'll show you all the other things I've used and sizes as well. You need your little basic white layer, which is, let me see, which one did I use? This one, 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. I've actually cut 2 because I want one for my bag topper as well. And I've got my Evening Evergreen piece, which is 4 3/8 by 2 7/8, and that will make the layer on our card, and then our little stamped image will go over the top. It's only a tiny little layer. I just wanted to be able to see a little bit of the Evening Evergreen, not too much. Okay. So I'm going to start with my stamping. And I'm making these two bits exactly the same. I've got my thank you sentiment and my evening evergreen ink. I'm just going to ink this up. It's actually quite juicy because I've just refilled it. So I'm trying not to press too hard with it. I don't want it to be too wet. Oh, that's just perfect. And I'm putting these sort of to the top left, just so that I've got enough room for everything else that I want to stamp. Okay, and I don't need that one anymore. You could stamp inside your card as well. You could put another little sentiment. If you did, I would probably use the same colour that I'd stamped on the front with. Okay, and then my images, I'm stamping in Smoky Slate. You know that I like this colour. If I'm colouring in with blends or something, I love the look of the paler outlines. Okay, now I've got a lot of stamping to do with this one. I need to find where my envelope is as well. Okay, so I'm doing my topper. I might need to ink this grey up as well. I do use this a lot, and it's not as juicy as it was. Okay, so there's one. This is going to be the one for my card. Then I'm going to do the inside of my card. And I'm also going to do my envelope. And no, you might as well stamp everything all at the same time. And then that's all of our stamping done. Okay, pop that over there. I'll just clean this stamp. There we go. Sometimes if I don't clean it straight away, I think I've cleaned it and then I'll pick it up and I have it all over my hands. Okay, so now, by the magic of video, I've stamped this ready to show you the topper, but I've actually already pre-done one. So it's already pre-stamped, I've added it to the base, I've coloured it in. So I'm going to put that there and then you can see exactly what I'm colouring and everything. So first of all, I've got out my Daffodil Delight blends and my Soft Succulent blends and my Evening Evergreen blends and my one colour lifter in case I need it. And I'm going to start just with the floral image. My Daffodil Delight pens they're running out a little bit. So the light one especially is just starting to squeak. So apologies when you listen to it squeaking. And that's usually the way that I know that they're running out. See that different noise they make? I'm hoping there's enough left in it just to finish this set of flowers on this one. It's very, very pale because it's the light Daffodil Delight, but it's not as juicy as it was. I used this a lot though at Easter. I made lots and lots of daffodil cards and I used it quite a bit then. And I haven't really reached for it much over the summer or anything, but oh, squeaky, squeaky, so sorry. I am sorry if that's like nails on a chalkboard or anything. Just fast forward so you don't have to listen. Just want to blend this darker colour a little bit. There we go. And as that dries, I'm just going to go over the middle of the flower with a little bit more of the dark Daffodil Delight. I don't know if you can see from here, I did the dark twice just for the middle and it just makes it pop that little bit. Okay, and then I'm only using my light soft succulent for the leaves. If you wanted to put highlights in as well, you could. Just go down the veins of the leaf with your dark, or even with the Evening Evergreen. Now I just wobbled off my line there. I'm going to come back to that at the end and use my colour lifter. I love when we get a colour challenge because it means you can make absolutely anything you want, anything that inspires you. And I always make lots of little sets of gift cards or note cards to give to a hostess, or last year I gave one to my coffee barista, and you know, like bus drivers, teachers, lots and lots of ideas of who you can give them to. And they just look so pretty. With my darker evening evergreen, oh, I think it's the light evening evergreen, sorry. I'm just going to go over those little baubles, just these little berries here. Okay. We will be covering some of those up on some of the cards, but I just like to know that they're coloured. Okay, now I've got my colour lifter because I'm going to go over this little tiny piece here where I went right across the leaf, and it doesn't really lift the colour out, it pushes the colour through. So I'm just going to go over it and I'll come back and do a little bit more. I'm just going to get that dark Daffodil Delight and do the centre of those flowers again. Just that one extra layer of the dark really makes the middles pop. Okay, and that's all the colour in. So it's quick to stamp and it's quick to colour. Let me have a little look as I just see still a little bit of green there. There we go. Okay, now what we need to do next is to put it on our evergreen, evening evergreen layer and pop this little bow on. So I'm just going to use my tape runner. Stampin' Seal is perfect for this. You see this on the back. If you are using colours from the blends, just be careful if there's not another layer of card. If you were to colour this, you would have all of the colour bleeding through on the back. So I always like to colour it. If I want it to be inside and coloured as well, I would do another little layer like this. I wouldn't stamp here, I'd leave enough room to do my own writing, but I would just have it like that so that you can't see it bleeding through. Okay, and next of all, I've already tied my ribbons. It takes me about 7.5, 8 inches of ribbon, so that's what I usually gauge. Let's make this one a little bit straighter. I'm going to use my Take a Pick tool and pop a little glue dot on the back. There we go. Sometimes I need to put 2 glue dots. It depends what these tails do. And I've put the little bows sort of on an angle over on this left hand side. I'm just going to push the ribbon a little bit. I might need a little glue dot. Yeah, I think I do. Some days the bows will tie beautifully and lay flat. Another day those tails just run away. There we go. And then I'm going to use my ribbon scissors just to trim. I'm not worried if it overhangs this little layer a bit because I've got the rest of the note card there. See if we can get that nice and straight. There we go. You see, and there was so little waste. So you don't need much ribbon to tie to make a little bow. There we go. And then I'm going to find my note card base and I'm going to pop this onto here. Again, I'm only using my Stampin' Seal. I know I haven't put the embellishments on yet. Oh, do you know what? I'm not. I'm going to keep this one for the topper now because I've been putting these on with dimensionals just to give them a little bit extra. Okay, so I put that one at the back and we'll use that for the topper and have that flat down. I liked just the little bit of extra dimension it gave by having this little foam layer. But it wouldn't have mattered if I'd glued it flat down. Wouldn't matter at all. There we go. There's just a little bit of fluff there. There we go. Right, so then I've got my evening evergreen I've got my soft succulent. The only other colour I need is my gold. And I've already made 2 of the cards with the little gold pieces from the Festive Pearls. And I'm making 2 that have the butterflies. So, oops. So I've got my little brushed brass butterflies, but honestly when they're on the card, I think they look gold anyway. So I'm not worried that they say brass. Okay, and I'm going to put a big one on. And a little one. And then one more little one over at the side. If you just wanted to put the one big one on, that would look really pretty too. Okay, so there's my cards made. Let's get the cellophane bag out and we'll make the little bag that they're going to go in. So I need to get all 4 of my cards ready. So here I've got the 4. And I like to choose just one for the front and one to have on the back. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop them like that, and I'm going to turn one so that it's facing the back. And then I need my 4 envelopes. Let me see where I've hidden those. So I've got 1, here they are. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now, if you didn't want to have that showing on the back, you could put your envelopes there so that they had the nice little image showing. But I like to put mine in the middle. Turn those round. And that way, if somebody turns the bag over to see what else is in there, they can see that it's the same design and all the cards are going to be the same all the way through. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop these all 4 together into that little cello bag, and they fit perfectly. You could probably get half a dozen in without it scrunching up the bag at all, but I think 4 is just a nice gift. I'm going to make it nice and straight at the bottom. There we go. Oh, that little ribbon needs to be flat. Use that pokey tool. There we go. Check that the one on the front is flat. Yeah. Now for the topper, I've used another piece of Evening Evergreen, and I've got a piece. Excuse me. I've got a piece that's 6 inches by 7.5. On the 7.5 side, I've scored at 3 3/4, and then you just need to fold it over. If you didn't want to do it like this, you could use 2 separate pieces. You could use 2 separate pieces of card. So they would be cut at 6 by 3 3/4. And you could put them on and sort of measure them up. I quite like to have the folded tent shape on it. It just helps a little bit to keep the bag flat, I think. Okay. And then I'm going to lay this inside, and I'm going to push the clear part of the bag all the way up to the score line, and then just press that down. And that just gives enough space to see your beautiful cards and to keep the bag secure. So if you wanted to see a little bit more of the bag, you could if you were putting a deeper card in. But because it's just the note cards, I think it works perfectly to push it all the way up. And then I use my stapler. Oh, let's make sure that's in the middle. I just use my stapler. And I staple right in the middle. I'm not worried about the back of the staples sticking through. What I do is I fold it over like this, get my bone folder, and I just squish these down a bit. Let's just squash those, there we go. And this one, so that they're not sticking out too much. I don't want them to catch on anybody's fingers or to poke through the paper. Okay, and then I've got 2 pieces of that beautiful designer series paper that I showed you, and the paper is cut at 5 3/4 by 3.5, and this is going to layer over here, and now you can't see those staples. And you can't feel, well, you can feel that they're there, but you can't feel that it's sharp. I'm going to stick this on really well. You could do this with a liquid glue as well. And this should give you a nice little border all the way around. Turn it back and do exactly the same on the back or the front, whichever way we're having it. And again, you've got that nice little border all the way around. And remember that piece that I made that I was going to put on the card, but I'd put tape on it by accident. This is going to be our topper. So just choose which side you like the best. Do you want to have this at the front or this at the front? It really doesn't matter. I'm going to go with this way this time. I was going to have the butterflies on the front, but I'm going to put it this way. And then this little topper fits exactly in the middle. I'm not putting the embellishments on here. I found that if you do, the ribbon's okay, it stays stuck on, but sometimes the embellishments, if it pushes against something else that you might have in your bag, then they will fall off and I end up with just 2 little embellishments and then it doesn't look right. So I put only embellishments on my cards. So there we are, that's my project for casually crafting for my colour challenge with my evening evergreen, my soft succulent and my gold. I hope you'll give that a try. It's a really easy set of note cards to make and what a fun little gift it would be to receive. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I truly appreciate all the support. I've had such nice comments these last couple of weeks about the projects I've been making, and especially the ones ready for Christmas, like the little Santa chocolates and the little other cards that I was making. So thank you so much. I do really appreciate it, and I read each and every one of the little questions and sentiments. So thank you. Have a great weekend and enjoy watching what the other people have made for the Casually Crafting blog. Take care and I'll see you all again really soon. Bye bye.